Hey, welcome back to another episode of AI Music Gear. Today, we're checking out the Line 6 Pod Express Black. Before we get started, I do want to cover that this is a non-sponsored video, so I purchased this with my own money, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. We're going to be hearing this in a mix today, and I'm also going to isolate the tracks so you can hear them independently. And I'm also going to throw up an equalizer so you can kind of see the spectrum of the different amps that I'm using. And in this particular one, I'm going to be using the Mega setting, or amp, if you will. That'll be the left channel, and the Avant will be the right channel. I did not do any pre or post processing, though I did find that I probably could have used a little bit of EQ. Because it seemed like the mappings were identical, and you'll see that when you see the EQ later on in the second playthrough when I isolate the tracks. I'll go ahead and display the EQ, and you'll kind of see it. It's almost an exact sonic signature, so I would probably, in a studio setting, carve those out a little more. Looked to be that there was a high and a low pass already set on all of the amps in the mixes, so I went ahead and had my EQ up, and I did some different testing with the amps to find out which two amps I wanted to blend together for the left and right channels, and it looked like there was high and low pass on everything I did with it, so you really won't have to play with that much. I kind of wish that they did not do the high and the low pass, but I guess that makes it that much easier for recording, but it doesn't give you that ability to get those lower frequencies if you want that. Or those really high frequencies, which normally you probably would filter out, at that point. But so I'm not going to ramble on too much right now. We'll go ahead and we'll give it a listen in the mix, and then after that we'll play it and we'll check it out isolated. So to go over some of the features that the pedal offers, there's 6 different amp models in it. There's a boost, distortion, mod, and delay and reverb setting. And on top of that, you can customize the bass, the treb, the mid, and the gain. It's really simple to use. If you want to edit any of the bass or any of the EQ functions, you'll hold down this Alt button while you turn the knob accordingly, and you could adjust the mid, the bass, and things of that nature. It gives you the ability to save it by long pressing the Alt button. And to dial in your amp, you simply just turn the knob to the one you want to select. And with the mix that I did, everything was stock in the sense that I didn't adjust any of the bass, the treb, the gain, the mids, and all the effects, the boost, the distortion, other than what was on the amp. When you select the amp, I turned all these off. And the way you turn these off is you just rotate the knob all the way to the left, and it'll shut off all of the delay in the mods, such as chorus and reverb and phaser that come with it. And it's pretty cool, though. It has, the chorus, flanger, phaser, tremolo. The delay, it has different delays you can use with it, tape, digital, and you just tap the button on the right to get the time signature of the delay that you want to use or the chorus. You could also switch it over to a tuner, which I haven't used the tuner to see how great it works, but I'm sure it works fine, but I prefer to use the tuner built in my studio when I'm tracking. And the pedal does have 2 different power settings. You got your ability to run your adapter out of the back, and it does come with batteries, so you could not have to worry about power if you're in a place where you don't have an extension cord or something long enough to run power to this. It does have your guitar in, and a stereo output, so you've got your left mono and then your left and your right, which you could run into your audio interface or into your amp. Provided you have stereo input, or you could just run the left mono channel into your amp. It has a USB port on it, USB-C, so you could run this directly in your computer and use it as an audio interface. I have not used it as an audio interface, so I cannot attest to how great that it would actually sound. But yeah, other than that, you've got your on and off button, your tuner, and your tempo. That's if you want to dial in the tempo of the delay or the chorus settings on it. So let's give it a listen. So now at this point, I'd like to cover who is this pedal for, in my opinion. And I would, this is great for practicing. If you're on the go and you just want to, jam and have a nice distortion, you can get a simple amp set up, one of the cheaper amps, run this through it and get a pretty good sound, especially for practice. I find that playing 7 string through it, you're going to want to dial the bass back quite a bit. And it just lacked a lot of bite in that cut through in a mix. It did sound just kind of overall either too processed or bassy in my opinion. This is comparing it to a tube amp, obviously. So, but I think with a little bit of EQing on it, you can get it to sound great. And I think that the amps, when you're trying to pair them up in a recording with using one amp for the left and one amp for the right, you're really going to have to check out the different ones to find out which ones actually go well together and blend. I thought the Mega and the Avant were blending pretty close together, but they lacked a lot of clarity and cut through the mix. So that's one of my overall problems. I think I would say in studio, like just off the bat, like, so you could turn the bass down, you could turn the treble up, and you could dial in the mid to try to get it to cut through a little more. But I think it's going to need a little more surgical EQ, in my opinion. I might do a follow-up video where we actually take the recording that I have and we clean it up through using EQ, so that way we'll do a sweep and we'll get any of the annoying hums and buzzes out of the way, or any harsh frequencies, and then we'll add another EQ and we'll go ahead and we'll boost the signals and the frequencies that we like between the two different amps and give them a little more separation than what's being displayed in the EQ. So as a matter of fact, I think I'll do that as my next video, just so that way it'll give you, those of you that are newer, like at home recording in studio, just kind of how you can get a decent guitar sound using virtually anything, and some of the EQ settings that I use personally, and what I do in a mix to get to get higher quality. Again, a lot of the mixes that I'm doing on this channel, I'm not really doing any pre-processing or anything of that nature, because I'm trying to give you the sound as it would sound. So when you get it in the mail, or you go to the store and you pick it up, you plug it in, I'm trying to emulate as close as to that as what you're going to get. So I'm not going to do a ton of processing and try to sell you on something that it's not going to sound like it when you get it. But I do a lot of recording and a lot of studio work here, so I think we'll do separate sessions where we actually maybe clean up some of these amps and some of the reviews that I'm doing, where to show you the full capability, because I don't think honestly doing too much justice maybe to the manufacturer if I just take the stock settings and do a recording and present it to you guys, where most people are probably doing a little pre and post processing and clean up where it's going to actually sound great and give you that awe factor. I'm not doing that, so maybe I will do that in a separate series that we start, just focusing on studio usage and basic setups and things that maybe if you're new timer and you're just getting started, you want to set up a studio, we can go over some budget studios, and we could touch into some higher end studio gear, such as if you start getting into rack mounts and things of that nature, why would you do that versus using plugins nowadays. So don't want to ramble on too much. So what are my overall thoughts and opinions on this pedal? I like it. For the price point, you really can't go wrong. I think it's great for practicing. If you have a non-tube amp or something where you're just getting started and you want to practice, or anybody virtually that just wants to get that heavy metal sound and practice, this is perfect for that. Just starting out and you're on a budget. Can you record with it? You can get some decent mixes. Would I use it in one of my albums or something of that nature? No, probably not. But if you have time and you can do surgical EQing on it and really get it, if you have the means to get it to sound better, then great. But I'd probably use something else that I have in my studio over this. But if I were just starting off and I didn't have the gear that I have, And this was it. I had this and maybe an audio interface, and was anxious to get a demo out there. Then yeah, this is great. I could take this on the road and gig with it. It is plastic. It's got a plastic encasing, so I don't think that it's actually cheap. It's pretty rugged. I couldn't break it with my hands if I don't think that. Well, the back's a little soft, so maybe if you, I don't know. Okay, so overall, that's my thoughts and opinions on it. And if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.